There you go. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And good afternoon, good evening, if you're watching the recording later. So, the other day I was talking about things that you can do when perhaps meditation is not the answer, and things that you can try and do throughout your life um, to help yourself so that when you are going through moments of difficulty, if you're unable to breathe and meditate, other things you could do to enrich your life also. And you may have noticed in the examples that I gave, apart from maybe team sports, there wasn't anything in there that would involve interacting too much with other people or relying on other people. I didn't say, oh, call a friend, go shopping, ask them if they want to go out for some food or a coffee or something. It was activities for yourself. And why? Because most of us do think that way, that, oh, I'm not feeling too good. Let me phone my mum or my dad or a friend or a relative, or, let's go out, let's get together, let's talk and do something social. Because some people may be blessed enough to have a really good support system and group of friends around them. But this might be a slightly bitter pill to swallow, but always keep in mind that all relationships are transactional, temporary, transient, just like our emotions. And when I say transactional, it doesn't necessarily mean it's something sinister or anything like that, but it just means we tend to have people in our lives that serve us in some way, even at a very subtle level. You may just like being around them, they make you happy. There may be something, you have things in common, but it's very unlikely that people would meet and become friends if they don't have anything in common, if there isn't anything that they can get from each other, if that makes sense. And in my experience, the only relationship free of transaction is a divine one. You could call it that. You could call it a relationship of the soul with your higher consciousness. You could call it perhaps even a relationship with an enlightened person, somebody who genuinely wishes for your happiness and nothing else and wants nothing in return. So, at some point on your journey, I think it's really important to remember we arrive alone, we die alone, and it's okay. Not only is it okay to be alone in this life, but it's actually very, very beautiful if we can get over feeling lonely, which is not easy, but it's possible. If we can get over that feeling of loneliness, then that understanding that I don't have to rely on anybody else at all for my happiness and my peace is so liberating. It's one of the most beautiful things you can do. So it's great to have relationships, it's great to have friendships, but always remember that everything is temporary, transient, transactional, and it's okay. Of course, it's okay. You don't have to be a hermit your whole life and not have friends at all. But keeping that in mind tends to help when maybe a relationship comes to a natural end. And if you have activities that you enjoy by yourself, you'll always have that. Then you never have to rely on anybody else. So having with that said, we'll do a little practical concentration meditation session now, and then I'll talk a little bit about the homework that I'd like to give you, probably the most important homework. So we'll begin with a straight back and as straight as you can, taking some deep breaths and becoming aware of the breath in the body. Becoming aware of the breath in the nose. the temperature of the breath in the nose. Which nostril is more active? Allowing your face to relax into a gentle smile with the eyes closed and your tongue resting at the roof of the mouth. Taking a deep breath and allowing the shoulders to relax and let go, the hands and the feet to let go, maintaining awareness of every single breath. Whatever you start thinking about, just come back to the breath. And now to go a bit deeper, becoming very, very aware of any sensations in your hands and feet. And remember, you can take a breath and hold it for a little while and let go. You can do that a few times until you feel some warmth and tingling in your hands and feet, any sensations. Keep being aware of every breath and also aware of your hands and feet. And now becoming aware of sounds around you, sounds in the distance, sounds nearby, and sounds in your own ears. Maintaining awareness of every single breath coming in and going out. With absolute stillness of the body. Remember to check if your back is as straight it can be, as straight as it can be. And if you still have that gentle smile on your face. And remember, yesterday I was talking about focusing on the exhalation, on the out breath. So each time you see or you feel yourself exhaling, just put an extra little tiny bit of focus there. Because it tends to be as we're exhaling that we lose our concentration and the mind goes off. Follow the out breath right until it loops back round and becomes an in-breath by itself. Be very, very aware of that little loop background to the in-breath. If your mind starts thinking, just come back to the breath. So what will happen eventually is there will come a time when you've practiced enough that, this is how I heard it described recently, that the in-breath and the out-breath become one. I didn't know how to articulate it before, but that's kind of what it will feel like, that you are breathing in and breathing out at the same time. It won't happen overnight. It will happen with a lot of practice. Don't try and force it because you'll lose your way. Just keep being aware of each step as I've showed you, and keep being aware of every single breath. And eventually, remember when I said at the very beginning, when the breath turns into something else, that's what we're looking for. And one day I hope one of you will come back to me and say, this is what it turned into. So on the outside, it may look as if you've stopped breathing. You will become so still. It may look as if you're not even breathing because there won't be that contraction and expansion seen like when a normal person is breathing. But inside there will be so much going on inside you, in the body. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So whenever you sit, remember to maintain that awareness of the exhalation as much as possible and see what happens, and see if you can reach that absolute stillness where on the outside it may look like you're not even breathing. And your homework, so one of the biggest parts of my practice is not just mindfulness and meditation and service and kindness, but it's also silence. And I was the kind of person who used to wear this in silence badge all the time around the ashram, even when I was struggling right at the beginning. I just kept going, kept going, kept going, kept my conversations to a minimum, interactions to a minimum. And it really helped me. It took a long time for the mind to settle, but it really, really helped me. So whenever you can, it may be for a short time, it may be longer, whatever you can do. If you're lucky enough to find yourself alone, or even if you live in a family, if you live with people, you may be able to allot some time, maybe say one day a week, maybe say a few hours in a week, like 4 hours or something, that I'm going to be in silence. And that means no conversation, yes, but also no reading, no work, no watching anything online or a movie or anything like that. It just means watching your mind, watching your thoughts, and dropping them, dropping them, dropping them, and having no conversation with anybody. And once you've done that, then sit in meditation and see what happens then, because we are like these little machines that all the trash or garbage, whatever that we're putting in, then fills up, fills up, fills up in our minds, and then it's constantly churning around. So it's like less garbage in, less garbage out. And in conversations, you may have noticed people are not listening so much, but they're just waiting for you to stop talking so that they can talk. And there's always just something bubbling, 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 bubbling up. Everybody just wants to talk, 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 talk. So perhaps beginning to experience silence of the mind, but of the speech also. So maybe when somebody else is speaking, perhaps in the past when you have been like, okay, I'm going to jump in and say something now, hold it, hold it, just see what will happen if you don't jump in and allow them to finish whatever they wanted to say. Sometimes it's actually more helpful. And see if you can find some time in your day, in your week, to practice silence and also silence of the mind. So when you're not talking here, usually this starts talking more. But because you've been practicing for about a month or so, I hope this is a great time to start practicing silence of the speech and see what will happen with silence of the mind. I know some of you live alone. I know some of you may be elderly and are struggling with loneliness, struggling being by yourselves, but perhaps you were living by yourselves all this time without mindfulness. When you live by yourself or you are alone with mindfulness, you will see that when you have nobody to talk to, and you learn to make this stop talking as well, you can have the most peaceful, beautiful, enviable life, because people will want that same peace that you have, but they can't get it because they either have too many things to do, too many people around, or their mind just doesn't stop talking. So this is the stage that I hope you will get to. So continue with your meditation practice as many times a day as you can. Remember, we don't have to rely on other people to make us happy. We can do it by ourselves, and all we need to do is learn to find that peace in our silence and solitude and revel in it. Because once you get there, it's one of the most beautiful gifts you can give to yourself, and you won't need anybody else. It'll be great to have other people around sometimes, but you won't need it. And it's really, really beautiful. So I'll leave you with that. And thank you all so much for your time and again for coming along on this journey. And I really hope you reap the benefits of it. And I'm sending you all lots and lots of love. And I will see you here again tomorrow morning. Take care, everyone. Bye. Bye-bye.